What happens if you get ISO altered with a jammed gun? That's what I'll be showing you in this video, as well as a bunch of other things like can you drop your weapon to dodge VYSE's ultimate, whether or not abilities activate her wall, and if her Raz Vines give information. I can almost guarantee that you'll learn something new about VYSE just by watching this video, so make sure you stick around until the end because you don't want to miss anything. Right off the bat, let's see if you can dodge VYSE's ultimate by simply dropping your gun. There was hundreds of people commenting this, asking if this would work, if you have no guns, what happens? Can you use no guns? Is there only a primary weapon? So you can see right here, I will get VYSE to ult me. I have nothing in my hands. And then you can see after 3 seconds, my primary is now jammed. If I pick up a pistol, pistols are fine. If I pick up my phantom, after the fact, it is still blocked. So think of this ability as a status effect on you, rather than on your gun itself. So no matter if you drop it and pick it up again, take someone else's gun, for a full 8 seconds you cannot use any primary weapons. Does VYSE still guard and jam ultimate weapons? Things like Chambers AWP or Jet's knives. Let's see if I get VYSE to ultimate right here. You can see 3 seconds for it to wind up. And then Chambers ultimate is completely fine. He can still use it. If I try to use my phantom, it doesn't work. But if I swap back to my ultimate, you can see that is still going to work completely fine. Can you activate VYSE's Shear by doing a jump peek? Now this one is pretty interesting, honestly. So you can see I'll get the wall thrown out there, and what you can do to activate this wall is jump past it, and you can see I'm still safe on this side of the wall, but I did essentially bait it. The ability is now active and will play out the full 7 seconds, drop like so, and I'm technically safe. You are a little bit exposed while doing that, but that is one thing you can do to bait out this ability. Although it is worth mentioning that the ability seems to block you a little bit before it even appears. So for example, if I try and walk out and then walk back again, it will block you. So like you saw the first time, jump peeking is possible to block it, but you do have to be pretty fast, and if you're not fast enough, it does block you before the visual effect is even there. Can VYSE's arc rows be seen/destroyed? So I'll get the enemy VYSE to place down the flash on the wall right here. You can see there is an animation that plays, so when it is placed, it is visible initially. There's also an audio cue, and it is actually visible pretty far away. So from 10 meters roughly is how far away you can see this from. This is a lot further than things like Cypher Trips or Killjoy utility. And you can in fact break this. So you can see right here, I believe it's just going to be 20 health, so 1 shot to most abilities. You can break this flash if you see it. And it does actually put the ability on a longer cooldown. So you can see if I get this VYSE to break my flash now, when it is destroyed, the cooldown is actually going to be a total of 45 seconds. For comparison, under normal circumstances, if you use VYSE's flash ability, you can see, is it like there? Now it's going to be on a 20-second cooldown. Normally it's pretty low, but if it is destroyed, it goes all the way up to 45 seconds. Can arc rows be destroyed in the wind-up time? So we know the flash in general can be destroyed like we saw before, but what about in that 0.5 second window when it is about to flash you? So let's say you know roughly where it is, or maybe you just have insanely fast reaction time. When the flash gets popped, it doesn't look like it's possible to break. You can see right there, I tried and it looked like nothing happened. I'll even go closer for a better look, so you can see right here, flash gets active. I try and shoot, and no, it doesn't break it. You will still get flashed, so it is not going to be possible to break it in the actual flash. After it is gone, however, it will be vulnerable to being broken again. Can VYSE's arc rows give you any information? So you can see right here, if I place the flash through the wall and pop it normally, it'll sound like this. Now if there is an enemy out here who does get blinded by the flash, it'll sound like this.
Blinding. Good hit.
So it gives you 2 indicators that you've actually hit someone. Not only does the flash sound a little bit different at the end, like a sky flash, VYSE herself will actually have a voice line saying good hit. Can you stand on top of VYSE's Shear? So obviously the wall pops up once someone has stepped over it. So let's see if you can actually stand on top of it and I guess technically boost yourself up. So I'll try and stand on it right here. And it doesn't look like it. You can see that time it sort of bumped me out of the way and I got pushed off to the side. But maybe I'll try to put it out a little bit more in the open and see if that changes anything. Alright, so now I've got it out in the middle here. I should be able to line it up a bit easier without anything over my head. You can see I'll try and stand directly underneath it. And no, the wall itself, you cannot get boosted up by it. It seems to just push you to the side instead. But it is worth pointing out you can stand on the wall itself. So for example, if there is a box near it, you can see when the wall does come up, it is solid and you can stand on top of it like so. Not sure what sort of situations this would be useful in, but there's that information for you. Does moving through Raz Vine make sound? I wanted to see if this ability is similar in effect to a stage slow, where it gives you an audio cue if someone is running through it. So you can see right here, I'll place it on the ground and then activate it. It is now active, and if this VYSE tries to run through it, it does play sound. Even if I'm shift walking through it, you can see that it's going to be the case as well. Even if the enemy tries to crash through it, you can see it's a little bit slower, but the audio cue is still going to be there. Does VYSE's Raz Vine damage you if you aren't moving? So I'll stand right on top of this building now and have a pop underneath me, and you can see I'm not moving and taking no damage. You can even move a little bit. You can see I'm sort of like strafing here and taking no damage. It's only after you move a certain amount of distance that it actually is going to damage you. So yeah, in theory, you could just sit there the entire time and take no damage, but of course you would be a sitting duck for the enemy. Can abilities activate VYSE's Shear? Now I wanted to see if similar to things like Cypher Trapwise, abilities that move through like Wingman, a Sky Dog, Euroclone, I wanted to see if those would activate the Shear. So you can see right here, I'll get Gecko to throw out his Wingman, and let's see, Wingman's going to come through really angry at me, and no, Wingman does not activate VYSE's Shear. If you try and do the same thing with Sky's Dog, it is going to be, of course, the exact same result. The dog will simply pass through the detector and not trigger the wall. However, when we come to Yoru's clone, this interaction actually currently isn't working as intended. You can see if I throw the clone out, you would expect it to activate the wall, but right now it does not seem to be the case. You can see, obviously, the clone just went straight through and the wall is not active. Now, one of the devs did say on Twitter that this is a bug and they are going to work on fixing it, so I don't know whether this will still be the case when VYSE goes live later in the week, but at least normally you should be able to bait out this wall using Yoru's clone. Does a server shock dart counter VYSE's utility? Now, obviously we saw earlier that the flash can be broken in general, but I wanted to see if a shock dart would work against all of these. So let's see if I put a shock dart there like so. The Raz Vine is going to immediately get destroyed. The flash on the wall will also get destroyed, and then the wall, as you would expect, is completely unaffected. One thing I did notice though with the Raz Vines, which is worth mentioning, is that they have a little bit more health than most abilities do, or at least like the mollies on the ground, things like that. If I try and shoot it with a classic, you can see right there, it's actually going to take 2 bullets to break. And if I go to shoot it with a phantom, you can see it takes 2 bullets to break as well. So I want to say the Raz Vine has about 50 health, which isn't very much, but it is more than I expected it to have. Does Steel Garden jam guns in ISO's ultimate? This was also something that a lot of people are commenting, wanting to see how it would work. So first of all, I will get VYSE to ult me, which will disable my weapon. So after the windup, you can see right there, my primary weapon is now jammed. But if you get put into an ISO ult, let's see, yep, as I expected, that effect then gets cleared. So if in any situation, someone gets hit by a VYSE ult first and then an ISO ult, their weapon comes back online, and then they can go about the ISO ult as usual. So yeah, I guess be careful using your ISO ult if there are any VYSEs around, because you do not want to save them from the effect of having their gun jammed. Does Steel Garden persist through resurrections? Now this will take a few steps, but let's see. So I'll get hit by VYSE's ultimate, and then I will also get VYSE to kill me after my gun's being jammed. So you can see I'm now dead. I revive myself as Clove. Is that jammed effect still going to be there? The answer is no. So you can see my gun is now unjammed. Before that 8-second window is up, so I believe that'll also be the case with things like Sage Resurrection and coming out of a Phoenix ultimate. It'll clear that jam status effect and you can use your gun again. Does KO Suppression effect cancel out VYSE's Steel Garden? I wanted to check this because it has a very long wind up time for about 3 seconds. So maybe a well-timed KO knife can disable it. So we'll see right here. I will throw my ultimate down on the ground like so. Then the KO knife comes out. You can see I've been suppressed, but because my ultimate was already active and, hitting him, you can see the vines have now taken over his weapon, so the suppression, at least in that case, will not cancel the ultimate. I also tried a few times to see whether or not KO's ultimate could realistically be used to counter Steel Garden, and even intentionally I couldn't get the timing to work, let alone purely off reaction time. How high can you place arc rows? Thankfully we have a really good comparison for this one with Cypher's cam, and you can tell that it is a very similar height limit, just a tiny bit lower with VYSE's ability. So this means for a lot of creative Cypher cam spots, it'll also be possible to put an arc rows there. Those are just a few of the things that I found while testing VYSE. Let me know if there's any other interactions you want me to try out, and in general what sort of content you would like to see about Valorant's new agent.